Today I will demonstrate how to perform API testing of a Google Sheet database. Now, for better understanding, imagine that we have a application that serves as a fake job reports community. Now, users comes to this platform and submit their reports on fake jobs that they have found, and those results get shown here on the wall, while on the other hand all that data gets stored here in the Google Sheet document. Now, in order to make this whole process work, there is a Google Apps script set up that serves as the server in this case, basically allowing the data flow between the application and database. How should we actually perform API testing here? Well, just as in any API testing, what we do, we send requests to the server by using certain paths, certain URLs. In this case, this server, when deployed, generates a URL. In this case, I have pasted here. It looks like this. So when we deploy a Google Apps script, we receive the URL that has to be used in our app, or in this case in API testing. So what else do we need in order to perform API testing? We need a tool. The best one is Postman. Let's immediately create a collection, a GET request, and paste this URL that will serve as the base URL. Now, what else do we need here? If we try to submit it like this, it will not work. The server works pretty slow as expected. Why it is that not work is because the Google Apps script is set in a way that it works with parameters. So for each request, we need a base URL and various parameters to be used, following as they are set up in the script. In this case, in order to make a GET request, to get all items that are in the database, we need a action parameter with its value to be GET reports. How do we implement parameter? Well, we navigate to the parameters tab, add a action key, and its value has to be GET reports that we took from here. Now, if we send the request, we should expect to retrieve all items that are set here in the database. In this case, we have only one item. Let's see if that's going to be the case. And yeah, the server is really slow. There we go. The item is retrieved as expected. So we can test it by, let's say, adding here manually a dummy item and let's say dummy job. Now, if we retrieve, we should also get this new item that we have just added. Yep, there we go. Now, if we want to add a item by sending a request, what we have to do is to create a post request. Here we can see the function for post request, making certain to submitting items. So as imagine it if the user is submitting a item from the front end. We want to simulate that, but doing it from the back end. In order to do this, again, we will have to use parameters. In this case, in order to create a new item, a action parameter will have to be used with a add report value. And of course, the request will have to be a post request. So let's save this one. Let's make a new one, duplicate, change this to post. Let's clear the old parameters. So as we have said, the parameters to be used for the post request in this case will be a action key and its value will be add report. Now, what else do we have to include when making a post request are additional parameters. Now, what you have to understand here, this script, generally Google Apps script backend, when making post requests, does not parse JSON by default. Instead, it automatically puts submitted form style parameters into this E parameter. What does it mean? Well, basically, when making requests, the body that we will use will not be a JSON format body, but it will be this one, xwww form arlin code. What does this mean? Well, basically, for each of these keys, basically, when making a post request, in the body we will have to include the keys listed here that will serve as the key for the parameter and a value for each. Basically, imagine this will be a parameter key, this will be the value, key value. So instead of having this format in the body while submission, we will have this format. So we choose this option, and now let's say we have to use a doc title, so no ID, because the ID will be generated by the server. We have to use a job title parameter, let's say. We don't have to use all of them, but we must use some. Let's say job title, we have here senior developer. What else? Company name. Fake tech. And let's say I found them on platform LinkedIn. Let's try to send it and let's see if we create a new item. It says true with this ID, right? We can optionally search by this ID, but let's make this faster. Navigate back to the get request, send, and now we should have our newly created item, as we can see here, successfully created. If we navigate to the Google Sheet, we have it here. So that's it for this demonstration. See you soon.